Listen to this quote from Tyson Foods CEO Donnie King. We've seen unprecedented and accelerating inflation. He's talking about food prices, what's going on with their company. That's what I've been seeing in my local grocery store. We're going to talk a lot about that today in episode 18 of Uncle Scott's Pancast. We are going to be looking for a little bit of inflation, a little bit of shrinkflation. We're going to open some products, see if we're getting what we're paying for. We've got tips to mitigate a little bit of food inflation. We've also got viewer mail, poll results. We're going to talk a little carbon steel and more. Let's get started. Okay, the first thing I want to do is thank our sponsor, Bake Deco. If you're unfamiliar with Bake Deco, they have got all kinds of great kitchen gear. They sell the Bouillet copper. They sell mat for carbon steel. They really specialize in baking and decorating supplies, hence the name of the company. They've got a nice deal for us. If you spend $50, you get free shipping. If you spend $75 and use the code SCOTT10 at checkout, you get $10 off your order. So $75, you get $10 off and free shipping. Sounds pretty good to me. I've got links below. Definitely check them out after you watch this video. Okay, shrinkflation, hyperinflation, inflation. Pick your word, pick your number, but prices are going up. I think we all see it. I see it at the gas pump. Around here, gas prices are through the roof. I saw that Utah had the 4th highest gas prices in the nation. I don't know why, but premium gas is about $4.30 a gallon. Holy cow. Real estate prices are booming. That's nice if you own a house. If you're looking for a house, it kind of sucks. Used car prices are way up. I think we're all seeing the effects of these high prices. Okay, in our shrinkflation watch, let's open some canned potato chips. We got some Pringles and some Lays STAX. Now, from a brand perspective, in my mind, if you have a stacked canned potato chip, that is a Pringle. Lays are bag potato chips. If I went to the store and saw a bag of Pringles, it just wouldn't look right. These just don't seem right in a can, yet here they are. Probably some consultants or MBAs or VPs somewhere trying to justify their existence. So first up, let's open these Pringles and, oh no, that's a lot of air in the old Pringles. Let's try the STAX. And again, a bunch of air. I got out the ruler and it looks like there is about 1.5 inches of open space at the top of the Pringles and about 1.25 inches at the top of the STAX. Is that shrinkflation? Is that inflation? I don't know, but there is a lot of air in these packages and I give both a thumbs down for that. Okay, when it comes to this shrinkflation and hyperinflation, it's relatively easy for us to keep an eye on volume. We can open the cans, we can look in there, we can see how much product is in the package. We can tell if there's a lot of air, if we're kind of getting screwed on the amount in a package. What is going to be more difficult for us to keep an eye on, and we're going to need to be really careful about this, is changes in quality. Now, volume we can see. If they use cheaper packaging, if they use a lower grade of potato, if they outsource their oil production to maybe a country that has lower costs but maybe not the same health requirements that American farms and producers have, those type things are much more difficult to see. So let's all be on the watch for changes not only in volume but in quality as well. And speaking of changes in quality, I do want to give a little bit of praise to California Olive Ranch olive oil. We talked about California Olive Ranch 6 or 7 months ago, I think it's been. And when it comes to choosing lower input costs, what they did was start a destination series of olive oils. So you had kind of the premium version of California Olive Ranch, which was all California olive oil, 100% California. Then you have what was called their destination series, and that had oils from other places around the world. Now, if you're going to put the word destination series on your bottle of olive oil, I think one reason it didn't work very well is the destinations were not really top tier places people want to go. For example, if someone told me I want a trip to Hawaii, want a trip to Vegas, want a trip to Disney, want a trip to Italy, I would be pretty darn excited. Those are top tier destinations. But on the California Olive Ranch bottle, the destination series listed places like Chile. Do I really want to go to Chile? I'm not sure. Do I need to get shots? Do I need to get that insurance in case I get kidnapped? I don't know. I'm sure Chile is pretty nice. It's kind of on the list, but not really a top tier destination. Now they've changed the word to global, and to me that makes a lot more sense. Argentina, Chile, Portugal, and California. Okay, global. That makes a lot more sense to me than destination. So probably some lower cost inputs there, but at least they call it out and it's obvious. It's right on the front label, so I give them credit for that. Now, how is this related to inflation and food prices? Well, I bought both of these bottles of California Olive Ranch olive oil at Walmart. 500 milliliter bottles. The global series was, in round numbers, about $8.50. The California 100% pure California olive oil, about $9.50. So they are definitely using cheaper inputs in this bottle, but at least they're telling you. They're telling you that right on the label. It's right on the front. I still don't agree with having global olive oil in a brand called California Olive Ranch. Then again, nobody asked me. So somewhere around a 10% cost difference between these two bottles. We said we were going to have some tips to help mitigate inflation and hyperinflation. One of the things you can do, and people may know this already, but I'm going to say it anyway, is you can get a membership to Sam's or Costco. Neither one are sponsors. The base membership to Sam's is about $45. I want to give you a couple of real world examples of how that can actually save you some money. The other day I bought this at Sam's. 100% California Olive Ranch olive oil. The exact same one as this one. This is 500 milliliters, about $9.50. This is a liter, twice as much in this bottle, only $2 more. So 20% more cost, double the amount of olive oil. Pretty good. Likewise, these bags of Smart Food popcorn. Really love Smart Food popcorn. This one was over $5 at my local grocery store, about $4.50 at my local Walmart. Compare it to this one from Sam's, almost twice the amount of popcorn for about the exact same price. So even though Walmart and Sam's are part of the same company, there is a pretty stark difference even between those two when it comes to volume and what you get for the money. Pretty much the same thing over at Costco. Costco is a little bit more expensive, but over a year, when we're fighting hyperinflation, if you don't mind the lack of selection and buying in bulk, I think those memberships to Costco and Sam's more than pay for themselves and really do help fight a little bit of this hyperinflation. Speaking of Costco, I made some Kirkland shrimp the other night. Turned the bag over and I note that it points out that the bag contains shrimp. Probably a good thing. Last episode we talked about Weber and Traeger, both grill makers, both going public. Traeger had gone public. I bought a few shares of them. Weber went public since the last time we did an episode. They went public around $16 and change a share. They shot up to about $19. I bought a few shares. They've settled back down around $15. So they're actually below their offering price. Now here John Babb wrote in and he said he predicts the decline of Traeger and Weber after the smoke clears from going public. He says it may take a few years, but going public always redirects priority to pleasing stockholders over serving customers. Probably a lot of truth in that. I think it happens over and over. You build a company, you really serve your customers, you go public, and then you've got different owners, you've got people with different financial goals. And we're going to need to keep an eye on them, make sure that Traeger and Weber maintain their quality and customer service now that they are in the public market. And speaking of stocks, back on Tyson Foods, they had announced their earnings. I had the quote from the CEO earlier. They also mentioned that, let's see, pork prices are up 39%, beef prices up 11%, chicken prices up 15%, and they have seen inflation of 14% during the last quarter. That's just 3 months, 14% in 3 months. Jeez. The government says inflation is running at 5.4%. That's what they say on the CPI. So you get Tyson saying 14, the government says 5.4. So last episode when we were complaining about the number of chicken tenderloins in this Tyson bag of southern tenderloin fillets, I don't think we were too far off. And while I'm griping about inflation, when I went to school, I got a degree in finance or finance, depending on what area of the country you're from. And I was always taught that an interest rate contained a couple of components. You had kind of a real rate, real growth, plus an inflation premium. Now, used to back in the day, you go down to the bank, you'd ask them what the CD rates are, and it would be something like 5% on a 1-year certificate of deposit. And with the inflation in the economy, you can kind of back into that interest rate being 2% real and maybe 3% inflation premium. And it wasn't perfect, but it all kind of worked okay. The other day, I was on wellsfargo.com. I looked at their CD rates. They were 0.01%. Not 1%, 0.01%. That means if you took $1,000 down to Wells Fargo, bought a 1-year CD, they would use your $1,000 for an entire year. And for that, they would pay you 1 dime, 10 cents. How they can have this up with a straight face is beyond me. But, you know, we kind of joke about the inflation, hyperinflation around here. We normal people are really, really, really getting absolutely screwed, unfortunately. Poll results. We put up a poll about barbecue grills last time. We asked people, what type of barbecue grill do you prefer? This is kind of interesting. The green egg Kamado Joe style, 11%. Okay. Propane grills, 22%, almost 1 in 4. Old school charcoal surprised me here, 39%, by far the #1 response. Those Traegers that we've been talking about, only 8%. Now maybe they got some room for growth, who knows? And 20% said one of each if their wives would let them. Next poll is about hyperinflation in the economy, how much you are seeing. Make sure you vote before the next Pancast. And finally, a little carbon steel. Mark R. wrote in and asked, why can't you put a regular Debouillet mineral B pan in your oven? We always say that they're not oven safe. They can only go in the oven for about 10 minutes. The answer is the handles. We talked a little bit about these handles from time to time. These handles have a coating and it gives the handles a nice feel, but this coating can melt at higher temperatures. The pans also have this little plasticky rubbery medallion in the handle, and that could melt at seasoning type temperatures. Now, I have some people write in and say they didn't worry about it, they just put it in there and everything was okay anyway. I am not that brave. I like to take meticulous care of my pans, especially my carbon steel. I baby them, and if the instructions say that the heat might hurt the handle, then I'm not going to risk it. Along those lines, just to illustrate, I had put up a review of a Debouillet blue steel pan last week. I seasoned that one on my barbecue grill. When I seasoned that thing outside on the grill, I think I had that grill up to 550, 600 degrees. It was only in there for a few minutes, but it had stainless steel handles. Did not hurt those handles at all. I would definitely not try that with this pan with the coated handle. Just me. You can try it if you want to, but I don't endorse it. That wraps her up for episode 18 of Uncle Scott's Pancast. Make sure you check out bakedeco.com. Use that Scott10 discount code. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again next time on Uncle Scott's Pancast.